So, what have I got in store for you tonight? Probably the belt. We haven't done anything with the belt for a while. And I suggest we probably focus on the lower part of the body. So the hamstrings, maybe even the quads, so the thigh, the front thigh muscles. So if you have any previous injuries or recent injuries or any niggles, any aches, any pains, just take it a little bit slower. Otherwise, quite a gentle practice in terms of we're moving, but in a way that we're not kind of energizing the body too much. So kind of just easing back into the bed, literally. So just hop on your mat. And we're probably starting in that half moon pose. So where we are just stretching out the stretch we don't need yet, but you can have it within kind of reach. Otherwise, just arrive on your mat. Maybe have a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a wiggle. So begin by just stretching arms and legs away from you, almost like best stretch of the week, or of the day at least, to start the week, to kick off your week. And then kind of slowly begin to walk your feet into the bottom right-hand corner. So kind of just baby steps. So you know when you kind of feel, oh, this is it for the time being. And then adjust your upper body. So lift your shoulders, your head, and also place the upper part of your body into the top right-hand corner of your mat. So arms can be just casually resting on the floor. If it feels strenuous, keep it actually in a way that it feels restful. So your fingers maybe might just hold on to each other. Maybe you hold on to one wrist. Perhaps the elbows make contact with the earth. And you decide if you want to bring perhaps the left foot over your right foot. So it's slightly stronger, perhaps not to start with straight away, but we're probably going to be here for a couple of minutes as we just settle. So your eyes can be closed or just soft gaze. So you can, if you want to have a little bit of a deeper stretch, maybe just reach your left arm, almost like pull. Pull is always a strong word. So gently guide your left arm a little bit further towards the right side. So you're emphasizing that stretch through your left armpit, through your left rib cage, waist. So make that stretch accessible and beneficial for you, meaningful for you. And include your breath as well. So once you settle into a stretch, let the breath move your body. So you may feel a rising, kind of lifting for the left side of your rib cage, left side of your waist, kind of increasing elasticity of your lung tissues, the tissues supporting the rib cage. And visualization can be so powerful. So the moment you really notice, that you want to direct the breath into a certain area, you may feel the stretch a little bit deeper. So, and eventually let go of any really achieving, performing. Let the body just settle. If you had your arm a little bit more engaged, kind of just let the body settle. And just breathe into the left side. In through your nose. And if it feels okay, also out through your nose. If it's congested or uncomfortable, just breathe in a way that feels beneficial, okay for you. So perhaps notice how the body starts to soften into that new shape. So the breath assists us to gently lengthen the left side of our body, creating more space. Stay for 2 more breath cycles. 1 inhale, 1 exhale is 1 cycle. And slowly begin to release any holding. Perhaps just slowly, if your left foot was over your right foot, just let the foot kind of flop back towards the earth. Walk your feet back towards the center of your mat and adjust your upper body as well. So take a moment just to land in the center of your mat again. And just notice left side, how does it feel? How does the right side feel? Maybe it feels a little more stretched. Maybe it feels more alive, a little bit more oxygenated. So then just move your legs, move your feet, walk your feet towards the bottom left corner of your mat. So find just that half moon shape for the lower part of your body that works for you. And then let the upper part follow. So lift your shoulders, your head. So maybe adjust even your gaze. And just notice, let the body settle, let it arrive in the new shape. If you want, again, optional, perhaps cross your right foot over your left foot or your right ankle over your left ankle. So the only thing that's moving, it may be your left hand, maybe kind of pulling gently on your right arm, perhaps increasing a little bit more length. Or perhaps it's just a breath moving the right rib cage, lifting and kind of softening it. So we're focusing on long, regular, smooth breaths. So notice that the breath almost begins to melt away any tension you may be experiencing on that right side. So perhaps explore deepening the breath, maybe breathing slower but quite controlled into certain areas. So it's the winter period again. So we naturally tend to seek more rest, seek a bit more stillness, kind of just to get ready for the spring. So always adjust the body. If it feels uncomfortable, maybe drop the right foot back down. If it feels actually heavy or the body starts to move into a certain shape. If it feels comfy, just stay for another 2 breathing cycles. Good. So it's quite nourishing for the spine as we rarely move sideways, or we rarely bring ourselves into that half moon posture. So perhaps slowly untangle, make your way back towards the center. So it could be your feet first, your upper body, maybe both at the same time. And just find again that moment just to sense as you're back in the center of your mat. Arms completely relaxed, feet stretched out. And take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and exhale fully and kind of quite, maybe even with a bit of a sigh out through a wide mouth. Let's breathe out the first day of the new week. Inhale through your nose, exhale, let go of anything that feels heavy. Today is also the Blue Monday, supposed to be the most depressive or the most, the saddest day of the year. Just by, it's kind of a formula some people, I think, that work for travel agency came up with just to increase sales for holidays. So this was actually quite a perfect day in terms of sunshine. So let that kind of light, that crisp day, kind of bring it back into your body, perhaps into your breath. Last deep breath, one more inhaling through your nose. Exhale. And then begin to bend your knees. Bring your arms forward and hug your knees into your chest, gentle rocking from side to side. So notice how it feels just hugging your knees in. Perhaps there's a bit of a stretch or sensation for the back of your for your glutes, for the backs of your thighs. So just connecting here to your body, to the spine. Perhaps lifting your nose, your head off the floor towards your knees, curl together like a little ball if that feels good. Otherwise, just continue circling for a couple of rounds. Lovely. And then extend the left foot down and away from you, holding onto your right knee to your right shin, and just let that leg hover here. So without an agenda, just lengthening, stretching. If it feels uncomfortable on your dominants, just adjust the angle so your knee may point slightly out towards the right side. So it's kind of still the same benefit. So just holding on to that knee. If you want, start circling that right ankle. So we bring movement into the right foot. And slow, regular, smooth breaths. Perhaps visualize how does that stretch benefit your spine, the lower back, perhaps your hip. Good. Change the circles of your right foot. Go the opposite way. Good. And then return that circling to stillness. Depending on energy levels, maybe you just want to keep it here, let it hover. Or if you want, lift your upper body off the floor, draw your navel in as you move your nose towards your knees. And then slowly release the upper body down. So do it a couple of rounds, but let that movement originate from your core rather than pulling your knee closer towards your head. So slight core engagement. So on the exhale, always lift and bring your head towards your knee. If you want, you can stay for a little bit longer in that posture. So while you're holding the posture, still breathe as naturally, as smoothly as possible. Good. So take 2 more of those if you're doing it more dynamically, lifting and lowering your upper body. Good. And then arriving back here, begin to circle through your right hip as we mobilize through the right hip. So if it feels uncomfortable having your legs stretched out, the left leg, bend your knee. Sometimes there's a bit of a pull on the left side of your hip. Maybe it feels uncomfortable on your lower back, so adjust. You may want to keep it extended. If you want to bring more intensity into the stretch, let the left leg hover as you draw your left toes towards your face. So it creates a bit of more core engagement, a bit of more heat. So just kind of balancing while focusing perhaps on the hip circles or just releasing the leg down. Good. Last bit of circling through the right hip. And then bring that movement to stillness. Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Give it a bit of a shake and flex and point the right foot. So through this contraction, you may feel a sensation running through the back of your right thigh, through the right calf. So that contraction pumps the lymph back towards the heart. So it increases blood circulation, contracting and releasing of the muscle. So the legs, quite important role to play here. Lovely. Pointing, flexing. Good. And then slowly lower the right foot down. Both legs are stretched out. Good. Have your left knee in towards your chest. And you may want to perhaps bend your right knee if it feels uncomfortable at any point, or just let the left knee hover here. So no agenda, nothing to do, just kind of releasing, surrendering into that stretch. A couple of deep breaths, always adjust if it feels too restrictive, too kind of compressing on the belly. And circle the left foot, please. So that we're for the left ankle. So smaller circles. bigger circles, maybe fast, maybe slow. Perhaps change directions. Good. And then return that circling back to stillness. If you want to lift your shoulders, your head towards your left knee, and then slowly lower. So a few rounds here, similar to the opposite side. Stretching through the back body. So visualize we're now working on the kind of the muscles running across the left side of your spine. If you want to hold them for a little bit longer, kind of stay in that flexion where your head moves towards your knee. Drawing the navel in as you always come up on the exhale, so that as the diaphragm moves up, makes it easy for the abdominals to engage. Take 2 more lifts. That feels okay. You can just continue to hover here. Good. And then once you completed those 2 cycles, move into hip circles. So again, you can bring the right knee in. That feels easier or more stable, or leave that left leg extended. Perhaps even let the right foot hover if that feels good. If you do decide to hover that the right leg, draw your toes towards your face. So there's those lower abdominal muscles kicking in. So you can make it as kind of passive, a stretch or hip circles, or more of an active posture. Good. And then return that circling also back to stillness. Extend your left leg up. Give it a bit of a shake. So again, always adjust if it feels unstable. You're tilting towards one side. The right knee can be bent, and flex and point the left foot. So the heel may kind of push towards the ceiling. And connect that movement to your breath. So without kind of keeping that tension in, breathe it out. Lovely. So then bring that circling back to center and slowly lower the left leg down. Oh, bring your arms up and overhead once more. Give yourself a good stretch. Maybe point your feet so it contract the whole body. Squeeze and then let the body settle. Walk your both heels towards your bottom, arms up overhead as you set yourself up for at least a foundation for your feet for bridge posture. And on the inhale, really lengthen, stretch your arms away from you. On the exhale, begin to lift your hips and bring your arms forward. Inhale, you lower your hips, your arms reach up and over. On the exhale, you lift and always use the arms to lift the body off the floor. So find your little rhythm here. On the inhale, lower your hips as your arms come up and overhead, lengthen. On the exhale, kind of use that exhale, that almost perhaps forceful exhalation to lift your pelvis off the floor. So strong legs as your knees point up towards the ceiling, perhaps legs ideally parallel. Imagine you're holding onto an imaginary block in between your thighs so that the legs are stable and quite strong, quite engaged. So at any point, if you wish, You may want to perhaps stay in that bridge posture. Maybe your palms press into the earth. You lift your hips. You breathe into the front body. It may cause a bit of a sensation in your lower back. So on the inhale, lower your hips again, bring your arms up and over. And on the exhale, have your knees in towards your chest. Maybe rocking here from side to side. So a slight inversion, a little bit of a back bend, slightly energizing, but also stretching the front body. So from here, either roll onto your side or rock up into a seated position as we're then transitioning into onto all fours. Oh, good. Take perhaps a blanket. You may need it for knees a little bit later. So starting with on all fours, and perhaps instead of having your hands underneath your shoulders, walk your hands a little bit further forward. So it also allows, there's not too much weight directly in your wrists. So the knees a little bit wider. And then begin to circle as you take your bottom all the way back. So you may almost stretch your arm, or may feel it stretch from your fingertips towards your tailbone. So tabletop circles, which cause more of a full or upper body stretch. So you, as you tilt, as you sway from side to side, it naturally stretches the whole back body. So maybe you want to kind of sway a little bit, find your own little rhythm to mobilize, to oil those joints, maybe a figure of four, perhaps elbows bent. Maybe you stay in that kind of extended child's pose for a little bit longer, enjoying the stretch as your tailbone reaches back and your fingertips reach forward. It's almost pulling you in opposite directions. You can always walk your hands a little bit further forward. Good. So two more kind of side circles here, tuning into your back. Maybe it feels a bit niggly, maybe too much sitting, perhaps not enough movement. So just find those little areas that need a bit more TLC. Good. From here, begin to drop the belly. Hands can be still slightly further forward. Drop the belly, lift your chest. And then round your spine, keep the spine rounded and take it all the way back towards your heels. Swim or hover through, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you lift up into cow posture. Exhale, rounding the spine, keep the spine rounded, chin towards your chest, and then all the way back. So kind of mindful wave-like movement as you come up. Feel perhaps a stretch for the front body. Beautiful. Rounding for the spine, shifting it back. So really stretching through your arms, through your shoulders. Take two more sets. So one cow and cat is one set. Mindfully stretching and limbering the spine. Good. And then finding your way back to center. So from here, hands almost remain glued towards the earth. Curl your toes under. Shift the bottom back and lift your knees bottom up into downward dog. Or pedal your feet. So just iron out any kind of aches, any pains. Perhaps look towards your feet, towards your shins. Good. Sway, maybe remain still. So perhaps just enjoying the view. Good. On the inhale, on the next inhale, bring your knees down and shift for just a breath or two into child's pose so the knees can be further apart. Lengthening. Perhaps your forehead reaches the floor. Good. Your next inhale, back into tabletop. Then curl your toes under. Shift your bottom back first so your spine is nice and long. Hands press into the earth and knees lift. The bottom just reaches up so the back stays nice and straight. Good. Up into downward dog. So make some free movement if you wish. Perhaps you might want to lift one leg up. So stretching up into the free leg downward dog. So again, just explore. Maybe start just with a small lift. Perhaps it's strong on the hamstring. Just explore. Good. Lovely. Bring your knees back down. Big toes together. Perhaps knees a bit wider. You can shift all the way back. Maybe you decide you need the bottom up a little bit higher. So it depends on maybe any issues. Perhaps just personal preference where you want to hang out for a few breaths. Stay for 3 breaths and find a longer exhale. So make that exhale slightly longer. Good. And then with your next inhale, find your way back into neutral tabletop. So we may need the blanket. So I'm going to show you what we're doing. It's quite a calming practice, but it's very much focused on what your arms are doing, what your head is doing. So we're starting about with knees about hip distance apart. So you may want to perhaps, or you can use a cushion as well that helps the knee to feel quite comfortable. So I'm going to show you first. So we are kind of kneeling here. Bring the arms up, lengthen. Then the arms go out to the sides. The right arm is on top as we lower, as we fold. And we are turning our head towards the left side. On the inhale, we come back up. And then the arms come out to the side. The opposite arm is on top. So left hand is on top as the gaze, your head goes to the right. So I'll talk you through. So good. So on the inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, your arms kind of cross over behind your back as you fold forward from your hips. Your head lifts and tilts towards the left. Inhale, you rise up, arms out to the sides and up. And exhale, make your way down as your left hand comes on top as you fold from your hips. Your head turns towards the right. Good. So reaching up, inhale. Exhale, arms come down, right hand on top as your gaze goes towards the left. So inhaling, coming back up. And exhale, arms behind your back. The left hand is on top as your gaze goes towards the right. Good. Last set here on the inhale. Lengthen and reach up. Exhale, right hand on top as you fold forward and your gaze goes towards the left. Inhale, lift. And exhale, left hand is on top as your head goes towards the right. One more time as we inhale, reach up. So we find just a neutral child's pose, arms out to the sides, perhaps alongside the body. And just bring your forehead onto the floor. So you may just perhaps hover your gentle pressure on the forehead. My bottom is up a little bit higher. Maybe shift it all the way back. So it depends where you just find a bit of stillness, releasing your shoulders. One more breath. And then slowly come back up into tabletop and lower all the way in onto your belly. So take maybe the cushions, your palms together and just rest here. You can adjust your blanket. You can move it perhaps underneath your abdominals. Just kind of lengthen here, stretch out. So that movement was kind of part of an anxiety practice. Inhale deeply through your nose, exhale. Let the breath escape out through your nose, out through your mouth. So then bring your awareness back into your body. Bring your forearms down. We are moving into Sphinx posture. So a bit of a gentle back bend practice to offset maybe any slouching, any hunching from the day. So the elbows can be directly underneath your shoulders, a little bit further forward. And engage your legs. So maybe we squeeze your butt cheeks together. So for that squeezing of the butt cheeks, maybe the legs lift, the knees lift, so that engages the lower part of your body. Keep that engagement. Draw your belly in. And then lift your elbows off the floor. That feels okay. So we are lengthening. Seeking a length through the spine. And then slowly lower your elbows down. Release that kind of clenching of the butt cheeks. And bring your palms, bring your forehead onto your palms. Maybe a little bit of a wiggle. Good. Coming once more into the posture. Palms or forearms down. So engaging, kind of squeezing the butt cheeks together. Lift that causes the lift in kneecaps. Draw your navel in and up towards the spine. And lift the elbows, drawing the shoulder blades together. Good. Perhaps a stretch on the belly. Lovely. And slowly release. Make a cushion with your palms, bend both knees, and just let your legs circle. So just releasing through the lower back. At the same time, beginning to stretch the front thigh. Perhaps change that circling even of your legs. So go in the opposite direction. Keep your forehead quite relaxed. Good. And then drawing that, bring your legs back to stillness. So that's now an area where the strap may come in handy, depending on any tightness in the thighs. So you may want to bend your right knee. So if you can reach, hold on to your right foot. Otherwise, take the strap, the belt, the scarf, hook it around your foot. So it's literally an arm extension, and then find a way to bring the upper body into a relatively relaxed posture where you lengthen. So emphasis is on stretching that front thigh and releasing into that sensation, into the posture. So if you are able to hold on to your foot or to your toes or to your ankle. So just notice if there's maybe too much of a pulling happening through the right shoulder or through the shoulder, depending which leg you started. So allow the breath to escape out through your nose, out through your mouth. As we begin to release that front thigh. So a couple of deep breaths. So for those who want to maybe challenge themselves, probably the right word, and you can reach your foot. You may even want to kick your foot into your hand or the foot against that strap as you lift your upper body off the floor. So maybe a little bit of a kind of gentle back bend as you're coming into almost a half bow pose. So you can go in and out of the posture. So just stay within any kind of any limits where there's not a pulling sensation, whether neither on the leg nor on your shoulder. Good. And then release the strap or release your hand from the right foot. Extend your left leg out. Just kind of notice your sense into that right leg. Maybe the right leg feels a little bit longer, so that's possible because we released the hamstring. We released the thigh, the quadriceps. So change sides. So you may want to start bending your left knee first. Perhaps you can reach, or perhaps use the belt and hook it around your ankle. So find comfortable pose for your upper body to rest. Maybe you just take the belt into the left hand, resting your forehead on your right forearm. As you literally release into the pose. So how does the left thigh compare to the right thigh? Does it feel tighter? Is it easier? Is there any soreness? So just tune into the difference maybe from side to side. Perhaps allowing the breaths to go deeply into your belly. Surrendering into the posture. And then perhaps optional, if you want to lift up, so you can lift your upper body, kick your left foot into the strap, into your hand, to come into a bit more of a deeper back bend. So half bow. So may cause more of a stretch for the left shoulder, for your left arm. And then soften, release the foot, release your upper body. Take a moment just to land. Let's just wiggle through your hips. Just roll over onto your back, please. So you can, if you have the blanket still underneath your body, maybe you can move it towards your pelvis. Maybe that feels comfortable. So there's no right or wrong. And just once more, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Let it hover here. So it allows the spine to settle. Slight back bend, so we're neutralizing that back bend now. Then bring your left knee in towards your chest. So kind of both knees hover, maybe a little bit of a sway, a little bit of a circle. And then bring your left foot down, hold onto your right knee. keep your right knee bent. You just extend the right lower leg. So take that strap and hook it around the arch of your right foot. So we are not extending the entire leg up towards the ceiling. So let the right knee point, let me just curve around. Let the right knee point towards the right armpit. So we're coming to that half a happy baby. So we are having a little bit more of a hip opener as the heel presses up towards the ceiling and the right thigh moves towards the outside of your body. So you may want to hold on to the strap. If you may be able to reach the outside of your right foot. So what we're doing is we're stretching the lower back at the same time we are bringing a bit more of an openness into the hips. Half a happy baby. So just find a little bit of a release through that hip. So a couple of deep breaths. So the heel really, or the leg is quite engaged, quite active. Lengthening once more the lower back. Good. And slowly extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. So let's go of some of the strap as you focus more on that stretch through the right hamstring. So let the upper body settle. So maybe the arms just slowly reach down. So let the sensation really move into the back of your right thigh. So depending on your hip, on your pelvis, you can have your knee, the left knee bent, or if you want, you can stretch the left leg away from you. So focus point really drawing the hip, drawing the tailbone towards the earth. Few releasing breaths. Inhale and exhale out through your nose. Lengthen the exhale while we are kind of surrendering into that stretch. And perhaps gently guide your right leg over to the left side. So we're crossing the midline, causing more of a stretch in the outer hip. So we're not looking at a lot of movement, just a little bit of a change of direction. So that changes the release from the mid hamstring more to the outer hamstring. Good. So if you have space, you can take the strap into your right hand as your right leg releases out to the right side. So now changing it to the inner hamstring. Good. Avoid if there's any pulling on your knee, keep your knee slightly bent. So you know it's not overextending that leg, causing maybe any discomfort on your knee. So just keep it slightly bent without pulling too strong on the belt on the scarf. Lovely. One more breath. And then slowly guide your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then just release the foot out for the strap. So just take a moment to settle both feet on the floor. Just tuning into the sensations. So from here, Bring your left knee in towards your chest once more. Let it hover here for a little bit. Drawing the left side of your lower back into the earth. So then use the strap, hook it around the arch of your left foot. Keep the knee bent, let the knee joint point towards the left armpit. So it's kind of slightly pointing out towards the side. And as you hold onto your leg, keep that engagement, keep that activation through the left heel, as if you push the left heel up, but your left hand draws the left foot down. So it's kind of an active stretch. So a couple of deep breaths here. You almost rein in that left leg. So the left knee is bent. It's more of a hip opener rather than a hamstring stretch. We are lengthening of the left side. So half a happy baby. It's almost like perhaps a 90-degree angle. And then from here, extend that left leg up towards the ceiling. Let your hands slide down alongside the strap, the belt. And use the exhale to bring release into the left side of your hamstring. Emphasis once more on keeping the exhale longer than the inhale. Avoid overstretching the knee. So maybe it's a soft bend in your knee rather than extending that leg all the way through and pushing into the strap too much. So kind of keep it quite controlled. Your right knee can be bent or extended. And then slowly move your left leg over towards the right side. So once more changing the direction of the stretch into the outer left hip. So subtle change, but quite perhaps big impact. Notice if your breath in a way suffers if you hold on to the breath. So if that's the case, return to a smooth and regular breath. And from here, slowly bring your leg back to center, perhaps out towards the left side. So stretching for the left inner thigh, if there's space. Again, notice if there's any pulling on your knees, so it's just this kind of subtle bending of your left knee. Make the exhale slightly longer than the inhale. And perhaps tap into your body, into your mind. Does the physical release help to perhaps release any mental tension that is present? Perhaps stick your tongue out. Release your upper and your lower jaw. Perhaps do some jaw circles. And then bring your left foot back to center. Release the belt, release the strap. Just put the strap aside, just landing here once more. And knees can be bent. Good. And two different choices for or options for the twist. So you can just let your legs move into windscreen wiper legs. Perhaps you want to just keep it more dynamic depending on any kind of discomfort on your lower back. Or if you want, you can bring your knees into your chest, let your knees drop over towards the right side. And then you turn your the left shoulder back to come into a bit more of a deeper twist. So choose what feels best for your body tonight. It may be a bit more of a deeper stretch, perhaps just that release through the windscreen wiper legs. That's the trick. So your neck can always go in the opposite direction if it feels okay. Couple of long, full breaths and work with that visualization. Where should the breath move? Where can it create a little bit more room, a bit more space? Bring in more nourishment. So keep the breath steady. Good. So if you're in a more static twist, bring your upper body towards the side. So instead of bring your knees towards the center, roll your upper body towards the side and then roll the whole body onto your back so that it causes less of a pulling on your back. So second side, if you kind of choose to go with more dynamic windscreen wiper legs, feel free to continue. Otherwise, hold, bring your knees in towards your chest. Let your knees drop over towards the left side. Find a so comfortable place for your knees to rest, and turn your right shoulder back. Maybe even the gaze goes back, looking towards your right shoulder, towards your right hand. And the breath moves perhaps into the right side of your lower abdominals, rib cage. So full breaths causing a rising and a falling of your rib cage, maybe helping to untangle some additional tension. Perhaps the right side feels a little bit more stuck or stiff than the left side. So stay for another 2 breaths on the left side. That feels okay. And then roll your upper body towards the side and just adjust, and then move your whole body in one piece over to the back of your, maybe a little bit of kind of wiggling, perhaps hug your knees in, perhaps curl together like a little ball. So kind of just any movement where you kind of click all the parts of your body back into default mode. So then from here, maybe put socks on, blankets, pillows, cushions. Just find a comfortable position for the body to rest, feel nourished, to bring the practice together. eye pillow perhaps if you have it. Some knees can be bent or supported maybe over a cushion, over a blanket, roller blanket. So if your legs are stretched out, let your feet just roll out to the sides, kind of just no holding. Heavy feet softening. Arms can be alongside the body, releasing into the floor. And tune back into your body, into all the different parts of your body. Perhaps feel that connection of your feet, of your calves, the backs of your thighs if they touch the floor. Just feel that connection of the lower part of your body with the earth. So with every exhale, bring sense of heaviness to your legs. Let that heaviness move up into your pelvis, into your lower back, into the belly button area. When we exhale, feel the stomach releasing, softening, and with the belly button dropping back towards the floor. So let the lower back release. So we subconsciously hold on to tension in the lower back. So consciously release that grip. And bring some softness into your mid back, to your rib cage, to the upper back, your shoulders. Release the upper arms into the earth. Let your upper arms feel heavy, your elbows, forearms, wrists. Your palms and fingers. So perhaps exhale all the way out into your fingertips. Feel the weight of your head against the floor. Let all the muscles in your face soften, your jaw, your lips, your tongue, your teeth. Releasing your eyeballs, the areas in between your eyes. Softening the forehead and the top of your head. Feel the breath flowing in through your nose and spreading across your whole body, into your fingertips, into your toes. And allow the exhale to carry away any stress, any worries, any fears. Your whole physical body feels at ease. Breath is quiet and regular. Your mind calm. Slowly begin to bring deeper breaths back into your whole body. Perhaps beginning to wiggle your fingers, your toes, bring movement into your wrists, your ankles. Perhaps roll your head from side to side. Maybe just stretch your arms up overhead, stretching from fingertips to toes. Best stretch of the day. And then perhaps hug your knees into your chest. Maybe gentle rock from side to side. And then slowly roll over to one side. Resting another breath or two. And use your hands to slowly push yourself back up to any seated position. Good. So finding a couple of breaths here as you lengthen, reaching the arms up. Inhale, palms together, and then draw your hands back towards your heart center, chin towards your chest, bow towards your heart. Thank yourself for making time tonight. Namaste.